live?
I think we're live.
All right, we're live.
In my page and in yours.
Well, that's cool. Okay.
So, I am Penny Douglas.
And I am Gary Douglas.
And we're married. And have been for 30 years now.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to come on tonight. We've missed a couple weeks because things have been crazy.
Yeah.
And hard. And a lot going on in our family. But God is at work. And He's always good. And somebody's here. Thank you for coming, whoever you are. We wanted to talk tonight about what is at the center. Oh, hi, Rosemary. I told her we were going to be on.
That's cool.
What is at the center of natural and spiritual relationships? And Gary has the lowdown here from Miles Monroe.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi, Rosemary.
Several authors, several individuals.
You listen to those audiobooks on your way.
Issue with revelation and wisdom and knowledge, understanding. Definitely one of the primary, one of the biggest things that we keep talking about, that we keep bringing up, is the area of understanding. A lot of relationships, especially those involved in anything long term, to the biggest things in which we comment that the best are that which you're committed to. Anything in life that does not have the demands of commitment is just a flash pan thing. It's, how long is that going to last? It's kind of proportionate to a principle in life that what has such demands usually has some sort of long-term effects. There's longevity. There's a return. There's value. Things which don't demand a whole lot of commitment usually isn't going to last very long. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, like paying for something, you're going to really read the book if you buy it, than other than
exactly
if somebody gives it to you for free.
Oh my gosh, yes, without a doubt.
Don't value things that are
one of the
free.
biggest things that a lot of people miss is the issues of understanding. Some of you, I'm sure you've heard of the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It has a lot of truth to it. It's kind of funny, but it does have a lot of truth to it. There are differences. Not just the issues of personality, but perspective, such as some of the things I wanted to mention real quick. That was kind of funny. We had a particular incident here at the house where it was mentioned by one of our young men that, well, I already said this to such and such, and my explanation
to a sister,
yeah, and we wondered,
a woman,
yeah, a woman, go figure, a young lady. And
I already told her.
Yeah,
that
and
I think this wonderful thing about her.
Yeah, I already think, so why the heck would she think all of a sudden I think something negative or whatever? And right away, I explained to him, said, well, in the near future, you might want to put this in the file cabinet in your head, being, that's usually how men think. I told him, I said, you can tell a man wants, and he's pretty well good with that. But for a woman, you have to reaffirm, which means you may have said it yesterday, you may have said it a week ago, but you need to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
affirmation.
This isn't a bad thing. I mean,
say I love you.
It's a good thing.
Over and over again.
I mean, we on the average, men think in terms of what is logical, mechanical, methodical. Women
project oriented.
Yeah. Women, in terms, consider things more on a relational, more of emotional, and that's the average. Now, I'm not going to say it's 100% across the board on both. That's not true. Whoa, no, that's not true. And I'll never, anybody that tries to generalize everything in total, it's bogus. It's like saying, okay, how many women are mechanically inclined? Well, in my lifetime, I've met, I think, at least 4 or 5 in my profession
Women.
that were actually, I mean, they were amazing. One wasn't necessarily mechanically inclined, but she knew how to ask the right questions to get the answers she needed to be able to perform, to be able to do what she, was required to do by contract and what she was in the job and position for. It's really amazing, you know. But anyway,
But those are the few.
Those are a few. Oh my God, there are a few.
And the other, yeah.
The majority don't. I mean, that's why I'm not too hype about the whole thing when people try to use superficial
Hey,
measures
Christy.
to make a determination whether somebody should be in a position of leadership or someone should do a job, saying, "Oh, we need a certain number of people here, or gender, or whatever." And it's like, there's a reason why, and it has nothing to do with politics. Autocracies, plutocracies, any form of collectivism. It's just because, you know what, most people for that particular gender, whatever, may not care to have anything to do with that kind of work.
It's not what they're interested in.
It's the way we're wired. We're all, we're different. Issues of personality, perspective, how you were raised, your culture. That's usually...
Jose.
Jose's on there?
Yes.
Oh
Hola, Jose. ¿Cómo estás? Thanks for coming on.
Some of the challenges. Is he on there? Wow, that's amazing.
I see Christy. Christy's on here.
Christy's
your cousin.
on there? My cousin? Wow.
Uh-huh.
Everybody
Christy
gets,
Ramsey Barker.
everybody's on your channel. But that's
Everybody's
because,
on my channel.
that's because I'm sorry guys.
You've been off
I've been so
of Facebook for a while.
stupid busy, I guess you could call it, or whatever. I was just, it's overkill trying to handle some things that I'm hoping by some miracle to get out of
So
soon.
men and women have some differences,
Oh,
general
yes.
differences
Whoa, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
in the way they think and see things.
Yeah, a man is more than likely, like I said, he's more logical, methodical, mechanical. A woman, she's more on the relational, not project more oriented. She's more, there's more of an emotional input. She's quicker to commit. A man, not so. Go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
I
figure.
think it's time for us to get married.
Yeah.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been over a year that
issues
we've been
of-
dating.
Issues and things where, for example, like I said before, where, a man will look at a room and say, you know what, that lazy boy, that chair in the corner is blocking the mainstream of the HVAC in that room, and it's not allowing things to go up properly. While a woman can say, well, I think it looks just fine where it's at. It accents the couch and would look fine with a little table right beside it, with a vase. This is just a difference of perspective. Nothing is neither right nor wrong. The whole thing's of, I wrote a paper quite a while ago. I haven't published it too much because it really causes a firestorm when it becomes public.
Betty.
It talks about dealing with such differences, perspective, that both as it works together. I mean, like I said, any company, any corporation, if they were really smart, instead of trying to play a good old boy club or good old girl club, what they would do is they would learn to balance the pros and cons out of a team that would consist of both a man and a
Male
woman.
and a female.
Yes. I think that would be incredible. And part of the whole thing, specifically a marriage of a covenant anyway, is where at one point in time you both are basically balancing each other out.
Yes.
The dichotomy for some of you that can deal with the supernatural side of it, when a man and woman learns to yield to one another, when they've come to a point in the relationship to where there's a whole new level of intimacy, where the things of vulnerability, there's a lot of things that have been dealt with. There's There's no issues. There's no insecurities. There's no fear between each other. So you come to a place to where you actually can complement each other, where you actually make things better in life for each other as well as together. And the supernatural side of it is, if you believe, if you can get this, if you can understand this, the dichotomy of God in Him is both male and female. For the attributes that are in the Hebrew language, again, you consider the Eastern, the Orientalism, all throughout there are attributes of both male and female. So when they consist,
like
most people don't get
a she bear, a mother bear.
Yeah, most people don't get it, that when Adam in Genesis, it talks of Adam being made, Adam had the capability of bringing life in and out of himself. To say that he was a man, yes, predominant, that was what he was, but he also had the ability to bring life. He had everything in and of himself. He was the same as God. God had things in stages. That was the first stage of making this physical form. And the second was to bring about the other half of him, of separating the two. And part of marriage is those two coming back together again. And believe it or not, that's actually a reflection of God Himself. When you see a husband and wife actually working together in a way,
loving each other,
where where things are working as they're supposed to, where that level of intimacy is reached,
in unity, and
the frailty of dealing with the insecurities, the vulnerability. It's been overtaken. It's not an issue, because the level of being real with one another, you've come to a new stage in your lives, and that's how it's supposed to be. In most instances, what usually keeps these things away, what usually keeps that kind of connectivity, is that, well, at some point in time in your lives, there should be something. Not just your children, but there should be something that you both have that you can do together beyond just a hobby, but something that you can focus your lives on. The one complements the other, and you two are brought together for a reason. And there's
find that reason.
Yeah, find that reason. You want.
Find that thing that you both have a passion for.
Come to know and understand the purpose of destiny. And the issues of age mean nothing. Don't ever think that, well, we're 40, 50 years old, or or whatever it may be. It doesn't make any difference. What matters,
or 60 or 70.
Yeah, what matters is, what are you doing today? Yesterday, the better way you start, the better way things will go.
Well, you have progress. You've made progress.
Yeah, progress. But again,
hi Sherry.
It's not half as important as what you did than what you are doing today.
Right.
So.
Fresh manna for every day.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Stay in your word.
Yeah. Can you read with her?
Sherry Leon from New Life Church.
That's good.
Betty Waymeyer, who was Betty Forte, and Betty Evans.
One of the main purposes, one of the main reasons.
And Rosemary's still here.
The very core of a relationship, both of the supernatural and of the natural, is love. There was a poet that wrote, "To love is to live, and to live is to love." And there's not a whole lot of what he explained or what he wrote about what he meant by that. But
Whitney.
But there's a lot of truth to that. There's an awful lot of truth to that. In the terms, again, that we deal with the supernatural. In God,
God is love.
He is love. He's self-sufficient. He's omnipresent, omnipotent. Can't remember the other off the top of my head. Omniscient. Now, how is it that someone who is all in all of himself, why in the world would he want to create man? Well, the whole purpose, the whole existence of love is having someone to lavish that upon, someone to give to. With God, this is why he had created man.
He made us so he could love us.
The other thing that makes this evidently clear too is the fact that of all the laws and the prophets, he said you can hang just these two things on. And if you remember what Christ said, he said to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, basically with all your being. And the second, of all your mind. And the second being to love your neighbor as yourself. If you get into the Gospels, you find out that basically who's your neighbor? Well, Jesus made this evidently clear in the parable that he gave, where he flat out made it clear.
Yes.
It is anybody in need.
Whitney says, "Hey guys, God is love and the most powerful love." That is true. Agape love. His love is pure and the best, strongest love there is, unconditional.
At the very core, again, we had talked about this once before, where we deal with the perspective of how basically people see things, how they interpret things. The first lens that anybody looks through in this life is how they see themselves.
Yeah.
You can avoid, you can try to get around, but eventually, at some point in time, especially for anything that has any connectivity, that has any growth, that has any meaning, you're going to run into trouble in that relationship, and it won't be the other person, it'll be with you. And the reason being is that if you don't love yourself, if you don't see yourself as being of someone of value, then you will deal with feelings of inferiority. You'll deal with feelings with, especially of the opposite sex, you'll deal with feelings of jealousy, insecurity. You will wrestle with all kinds of things. And it's not the other person. It is the war that which you fight within yourself. Because the truth is, as it is with God, so it is also with us. If that love is not there, if there's even something to a bad level of self-hate, where psychologically, they can already tell you, it brings all kinds of bad things. But even someone who still doubts themselves, who does not see or know that they're of value, that is reflected upon in other relationships. It doesn't make things work. It messes things up. It causes things to go wrong.
And if you realize that God made you just to love you, then you know that you have value. Because it's not anything that you do that can earn God's love.
No.
He just made you because he loves you. And he loves you because he made you. There we go with the same kind of thing as that poet. But, and Dr. Caroline Leaf says that we are wired for love. Our brains are wired for love. So that's just, Vanessa is here. Hi, Vanessa. So that is how we should be living, out of knowing that we're loved.
Yes.
And being able to love others because we know that we're loved. You're late, but you're here. Thanks for coming. All the way from Arizona.
It is imperative that your perspective, that how you see yourself, is positive.
Yeah.
The things that may work against you from finding that very core of relationship, which is love.
So does that answer our question? What is at the center of natural and spiritual relationships?
Yeah. Yes, I hope
love.
so. I hope what it said is early, definitely for those that understand it, know and get it. That's the legit side of it.
And commitment is what you were talking about too.
Oh yeah. The primary that usually causes, that destroys relationships, primary is usually the issues of misunderstanding, not knowing what the other one thinks, how they think. That is the number one reason. It's not for a lack of love, but that's the number one reason.
Yeah.
The second reason
destroys the communication.
Yeah. The second reason, again, is not a lack of love, but it is the issue with oneself. Like I said before, if you don't love yourself, then it's hard to convey that to someone else. If you go into any long-term relationship, specifically you get married to somebody, and you're still dealing with some inner wounds which usually can be cause of issues of former commitments that went bad, issues with your mother, your father. Those wounds are usually, my gosh, they set you for life, unless there is, well, I'll just flat out say, you got to forgive them. You got to let things
Let God
go.
cleanse and heal.
Yeah, and get healed up over it.
Pray.
Because it's a major overhaul. There's no just getting over any such things. The conforming of basically a lot of bad experiences. Those things can have an impact on you, because you see, when a lot of people don't realize is, like, when you marry this other person, you are bringing your culture, you're bringing your lifestyle, you're bringing your experiences, whether it's baggage or luggage. It depends whether it's good or bad, how you see it. You're bringing that with you. So if you don't want to bring the bad stuff with you, you need to be chucking that out the back window, out the side or whatever. You need to pull over and take it out of the trunk of your car or wherever destination you're going and get rid of it.
Yeah.
But the only way you're going to get rid of it is not to bury it, not to try to avoid it, but to deal with it. Because just as it's written, it's a principle. You know, you come to know the truth. You come to deal with the issues of your own soul, and you will find a freedom that you never thought was possible. A transparency, a level, and a life that is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But to get there, the first person you have to deal with is yourself.
If you don't love yourself, you're going to try to get that love from that other person. And that other person, hopefully, you know, if they're whole in themselves and they do love themselves, that's still going to be a drain on them. But if that person is empty inside too, that's a real problem. When you're trying to get love from them, they're trying to get love from you, and neither of you really has it to spare.
Yeah.
And that's a real
Those
problem.
that usually,
Eric Rauch is here.
yeah, those that usually get married that try to get out of the issue of being lonely usually wind up feeling more lonely and more isolated than ever. Who go into a marriage, who go into a long-term commitment, and haven't come to a place
where they're whole inside.
To have a, where they're whole, where they're complete, where they're content with who they are. And I'm not saying that you should stop going, you should stop learning.
Everything all together.
No.
But
growing. But at the very core, you should be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
You should love yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to run into trouble when it comes time for the relationship to grow, to get to a place to want to be committed to someone. You know, you're going to run into trouble because this here is still messed up, and it's got to be fixed first.
Yeah.
When you come to a place that you're content with who you are, that you love yourself, then you're ready for something long term. Because the whole part of marriage, the whole part of really any relationship, is not a matter of what you can take, what you can get, but what you can give.
Right.
Because it's a principle. What you put forth, what you say, what you do, it does come back to you.
And it really is better to give than to receive, and that has its own reward.
Yeah.
You feel good when you give to someone else.
It's a given. Anyone who thinks that they can hoard, that they can hold,
and be selfish and greedy,
that they think that it's going to work for them,
that is not fulfilling.
It doesn't work. You end up losing even what you have.
Yeah.
And relationally, you will just destroy everything living like that.
Yeah.
Because, again, for what it is one sows, they reap. And I don't care what it is. Which is, a little sideline thing. There's two things that nobody can afford. And that's lust and that's greed. Because both of them, they take the life of their owner. Nobody can afford that.
Right. Okay, very good.
Are we maxing?
Well, we're at 24.
We're at 24.
That's probably long enough.
We're just trying to watch our time, guys, because we know we don't want it to make it too.
Plus, you need to go lift weights and not close the gym down.
Not close the gym down, I guess. I'm not sure what in the world.
Thank you so much, Vanessa and Whitney and whoever else.
I'm hoping this stuff means
now.
something. We want to get more into. Next time, it would be really cool. I'm going to have it all written out to what the differences are and hopefully this helps everybody who deals with marriage or
Who's just
who
married
deals with
or
relationships
going to get
where they
married,
want things to be
or
long
been married
term, where
for
they want
30
things to
years.
grow, and they get married. Yeah, wherever you're at, to be able to explain some of these
Oh,
differences
Lonnie
more
Bailey
fundamentally.
just came on.
Yeah, to be able to describe some of these things
Lonnie,
more
watch the
fundamentally,
replay.
so that everybody understands. You know,
Hello, thanks for coming
so
on.
you know you can breach the biggest and the worst clash of all involving relationships with the opposite sex, and that being the issue of misunderstanding.
And communication.
Communication, which is part of what is the reason and the cause for that.
It is so powerful when both people go to God to be filled and then pour out that love to each other. Yes.
Yeah, there's
Very
if
good,
you want to
that's
make
right.
you want to make a marriage really last, the number one thing that you two should do, regardless of all else, is that you should pray together.
And have God at the center.
Yeah, by praying together, you're causing things to happen. You're solidifying. You're galvanizing your relationship. Even in the beginning, if you want to find someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, find someone who is willing to deal with all the aspects of both body, soul, and spirit. That's willing to address those things. That are willing to, you know, cross over in that area
Grow.
with you, to grow with you.
And address those things together. Work
Yeah.
on them together.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. If you really want it to last, you're going to really have to be serious about all those areas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll try to do it again next Friday. We never know what.
Yeah, we
What is it?
well, I work in
date is
one location in a city
30th.
about 3.5 hours away, and Penny's thinking about coming back to Ohio to help with her dad. So we're not sure.
I'll be here still next Friday,
next Friday,
and you'll be here Friday.
Yeah,
Is that when Labor Day is?
yeah, it falls that
That
next
weekend.
weekend.
Okay, but we'll do something
We-
next Friday, and you're gonna have it all written down and ready.
Yeah,
to go,
I'll have
right?
it written, ready to go.
Okay. So thank you for coming on, and we will see you next Friday. If you have any prayer requests, and now Cheryl Laframbois comes on. If you have any prayer requests, 10-year anniversary, Whitney. I can't
my God.
believe it's been that long.
10 years.
I know when you got married, and I know of your two little boys, and I know of Cindy, and that's Cindy Rushton's daughter-in-law, Whitney. Now what was I saying? 10-year anniversary. 10 years. I can't even believe it's been that long. If you have any prayer requests or any comments or anything, make sure you share them in the place for comments. And we'll just see you next time.
Yeah, guys, definitely check out the replay.
Yeah,
I think you will be entertained and increase your knowledge or two.
I'm the entertainer.
Yeah.
He's
Hey,
a serious
Take
guy.
it easy, Cheryl. Take it easy, Lonnie.
Everybody
and,
have a good night.
See you later, Eric. Take it easy, guys.